Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to have some fun exploring some information together that will probably turn on its head everything you were previously taught about your health, your diagnosis, and even your prognosis. That being said, I want to be clear that the information I share is for educational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. It's true, I have a background in medical training, but I don't diagnose or prescribe. And that's really important for me that you understand that for your safety. Because if you get as excited about this information as I did, it may change decisions that you make for your health, but make sure you talk about them first with a doctor that you trust. I'm here to educate. And I want you to investigate, examine, and test the science and facts for yourself to see how it compares with your own understanding of how the human body works. A healthy skepticism is always a good thing. I also want to invite you to keep an open mind. Be willing to trust your own lived experiences rather than feeling dependent only on what so-called experts may have told you. For example, if you have felt something was off with your health for a while and you couldn't put a finger on it, but the doctor said your labs are all normal, trust that maybe there's something going on there that they just are not trained to detect. That's where I want to explain that it's a partnership between you and your expertise with your body, and then whoever your medical team is as the professionals in medicine and in diagnosing and whatnot. My goal is also to give you hope that your condition doesn't have to be permanent. I truly believe that by learning to understand the biology of your symptoms, the language of your body, so to speak, that you can learn to work with these messages to find resolutions rather than fighting, a process that you don't understand when it feels like your body's attacking you. So this is a body of knowledge that when applied through a number of different modalities, it has improved the lives of thousands of patients. What I mean by that is what I'm going to teach you today isn't a treatment or a modality. It's an understanding. It's a science. And then we use this science to resolve symptoms through any number of processes that address the root cause. This is why you can go to massage, you can go to chiropractor, you can go to a functional medicine doctor, you can use homeopathy, you can use essential oils, and you start to notice relief. I want to explain to you why those things work. I'm really excited to bring you this empowering new perspective on healing that is probably going to change the way that you live. So a little bit about me. I was raised in an extremely health conscious household. My mom was like the hippy dippy granola mom before it was cool. She wouldn't allow us to eat sugar. We were the kids at school that had like recycled notebook paper. She was always using non-toxic natural products in the home. My dad was really big on physical activity. He would take us to play tennis every morning before school. We'd be on the course at like 5 a.m. So my point was, I was the last kid you'd ever think would get sick. And I spent my childhood not getting a lot of things like colds and flus that other kids were getting. But I did always have a profound sense of fatigue and anxiety. And when I was 18, I was diagnosed with a chronic autoimmune disease called ulcerative colitis, which affects the large intestine. A few years after that, my adrenal glands failed and I was diagnosed with Addison's disease. And then I struggled with that anxiety and dysautonomia throughout my entire life. So I want to hear a little bit about you now. What are some of the diagnoses that you've received? Go ahead and put these in the chat box if you want. Or if you haven't received an official diagnosis, what are some of the symptoms that you're struggling with? Also, what have you been told about autoimmune disease or your symptoms? Were you told that it's a genetic disorder? It's based on your genes and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't control it. Were you taught that your symptoms are maybe the result of poor lifestyle choices that you can control? If you just eat better and exercise more, you'd feel better. Or were you taught that it was a combination of both? I'd love to hear your feedback.